Hello everybody and welcome to the channel. It's Paulie Esther here, and as expected, Dead by Daylight released a second illustration on that Fresno Memorial website, art by Seymour. So let's go check it out. Here is the first tweet from yesterday with the link, and this is the first illustration with that monolith up into the sky with all of this sinewy organic material underneath. This is a very intriguing image to me. When I first saw this, I thought that this had something to do with the Observer and the Observer's Tower. Perhaps there's going to be some kind of a connection where, similar to what we saw with Michaela and her writing and her dabbling in the dark arts of magic, it seemed to make the boundary between the world of the entity and the fog a little more permeable, as she was haunted by it in nightmares, things like that. Maybe gave the entity strength into our world. I don't know if this is going to be a similar thing here, where the artist is seeing visions and drawing the fog in these illustrations, and suddenly they got pulled into that realm. It's pretty cool to think about. I'm very interested to see where the lore goes for this new chapter. So again, if you click that link from the tweet, it takes you to this fake Fresno Memorial Center of Arts and Culture website, which is really part of the Dead by Daylight website. And at the end, it says a teaser portrait of a murder. And we talked about yesterday how a murder is what you call a group of crows. So here's that second illustration. You can click these. There's image number 1. Here's image number 2. So what do we make of this? It looks like there's some charms hanging from a tree here. Is this supposed to be like the artist's interpretation of a vision into the entity's realm of a hook with charms hanging from it? Not sure. Maybe there's somebody who's a little more familiar with perhaps Chilean folklore about hanging things from trees, something like that. I don't really know, but this is a very intriguing image here. I'm not sure what to make of it. And now I'm going to take you on a different journey than you're probably expecting. I'm going to go in a different direction than you're going to see most likely any other content creator talk about today. I'm going to talk about the location of the coordinates from the errors in the map and what that might mean. So we talked about this yesterday, that if you click on some of these other links, it takes you to an error page, and you can just close it out and go back. But basically anything else that you click on here on the page, other than, by the way, the Facebook, if you click on the Facebook link, it still takes you to this share page on Facebook where we see the third image, presumably here. So it looks like that looks very much like what this third image here is in blur form. So it looks like we're just waiting on the fourth image, which some people have said it looks like the Bride of Frankenstein. Some people have said it reminds them of Maleficent. So I could see all of that. This I'm presuming is going to be the artist, but we don't know for sure. But anything else you click on here, it just takes you to like an error page, right? And we have these numbers, and then these negative numbers seem to be coordinates on a latitude and longitudinal system. Now, some people said to me, hey, this first part could be a date, which would be August 25th, 1944. I looked up some stuff and, tried to find some significance to that date in Chile, but I get like a lot of World War II news from that. So it was hard to sift through and try and find any connection to what was going on in Chile. By the way, to anybody in South America, I wholeheartedly apologize for my pronunciation and my anglicized words here. Chile is probably what I should be saying instead of Chile, but I digress. I apologize for, butchering your language here. So, August 25th, 1944, I couldn't come up with any connection. And then we have these latitude and longitude coordinates. So if you click those, it takes you to the northern part of Chile with this Atacama Desert. Specifically, this red spot here at the top is the actual exact coordinates, which is just a couple of 100 meters north of Ex Pueblo La Noria. Like, this is like 500 meters distance. And so if we look at Ex Pueblo La Noria, this is an old mining town historically, where they mined for saltpeter. This is called Chilean saltpeter, which is sodium nitrate, which is used in gunpowder and fireworks, and I think that's it. I think fertilizer, gunpowder, and fireworks was the primary use for this, and it created a booming mining town up until 1944, interestingly enough. So this is the mining town here, that it's just kind of like a ghost town that people go to now. Here's the sign of it: Bienvenido al Pueblo La Noria. So that was where the mining town was, and people have shared all of their pictures of what this place looks like. They have a cemetery here with a lot of simple crosses in the ground. It's a desert, so, you know, it's very sparse. There's a lot of bones around and some shelled out buildings that have no roofs. I don't know if you can get a shot of that here, but religious symbolism here. That's the cemetery, I think. Here you can see there's a lot of buildings like this that just have no roofs, just the walls remain. See all of this. This is what the mining town remains are. That's what it looks like. So I guess people go here for tourism. Is this just a bunch of bones on a little bandstand laying about? Is that what's happening here? But you can see, and I guess it's cyclists like to make the trek out here. So this is where those coordinates point to. Does this have any kind of connection to the chapter? So here's an article. This is called Little House of Horrors, and it talks about Humberstone and La Noria. So these are two different saltpeter mines that were from towns from the northern part of Chile here. In the north of Chile, in the dry Atacama Desert, you can find the mining towns Humberstone and La Noria. We're going to focus on La Noria because that's where the coordinates point. They were founded because saltpeter was discovered in the desert, and soon more of these so-called nitrate towns were built. But the fairy tale didn't last long, and the towns were abandoned, but that doesn't mean they're empty. So we're going to skip this Humberstone part because that's not applicable. The history of La Noria, and there you see that sign, Bienvenido al Pueblo La Noria. La Noria is an even older nitrate town than Humberstone, for it was founded in 1826. It's the oldest saltpeter mine in Chile. Many people worked and lived here, and there was even a railway line connecting the town to Iquique. When saltpeter started to become an important export product, more mining towns were founded. La Noria did suffer from the competition, but a fire nearly completely bankrupted the town in 1901, and the final blow was given when synthetic saltpeter was discovered in Germany during World War II, and the city was abandoned. That'd be around that 1944 date. So now it's a ghost town. Both ghost towns are real ghost towns today. Humberstone may be a museum during the day, but at night the former residents who never left roam the grounds. La Noria is even more creepy and desolate, especially the huge cemetery, which makes visitors feel very uncomfortable. But are both towns haunted? The answer is yes. So we're going to skip Humberstone here. Creepy La Noria. People from surrounding towns such as Iquique refuse to go to La Noria at night. When asked why, what they fear, the most they'll answer is the zombies, and all that has to do with the eerie cemetery. There's open graves apparently in this place. La Noria has a huge cemetery which is left to decay. The wooden crosses at the cemetery are all higgledy-piggledy, and the dry air, hard wind, and the hot sun afflicted some of the graves so much that the bones of the deceased are out in the open. The open graves may also been the work of grave robbers, but the people from the neighboring towns claim to have seen figures rise from the graves who walk towards Humberstone at night. They are convinced of the fact that zombies open their own graves. Many human or alien. What makes La Noria even more creepy is the 6-inch, 15-centimeter tall human-like skeleton, which was found in 2003. The skeleton is named the Atacama alien, but DNA research proves it is the corpse of a human child. But this child would have had the worst case of dwarfism ever recorded If this is caused by the mining of saltpeter, that's unknown, but it's still creepy. Other ghosts of Noria. This gives you a good picture of the cemetery, I would say. Full body apparitions and shadow figures have been seen walking the Noria grounds. Claims of people hearing footsteps, voices, and screams are also common here. Perhaps it's the eerie atmosphere that makes people hear and see things, but there's a possibility the enslaved mine workers never left. And then it talks about what these places are like today. Visiting Noria is a very different story. It's much harder to access, even though it seems entirely open. The only real way to get there is for lots of roads towards it. There's only one real way to get there, for lots of roads towards it are blocked. You need a pretty good car or a good pair of legs. Beware of the fact that this is still a harsh desert, so make sure to take plenty of water with you, because you wouldn't want to get stuck there forever, would you? So it sounds like a lot of cyclists like to trek out here and check it out and stuff in the desert and see the remains of this place. If we go to this satellite view, you can zoom in, and this gives you a real feel for the whole place with all the rooftops missing and just the shell of walls that remain in this place. So now the question remains, why are these coordinates there? Presuming those are coordinates, I don't know what else they could be. I mean, it just would, if those are just random numbers, it seems very odd that they point to a place in Chile, and the artist who is mentioned in this this fake Fresno Memorial article is from Chile. So it seems like they purposely put those coordinates in there for us to find and explore. So does this have connection to the map? Are we going to get this old mining town? Is it going to have those cemetery elements and the open rooftop buildings? That sounds like a pretty cool map in the desert to me. And what connection does either the killer or survivor have to this location here in Northern Chile? Is this where they were last seen? Is this where they were born? Is this something important to them? It sounds like the artist was a political activist painting murals. I don't know that many people are going to see your murals out here in a ghost town in the 1970s in the desert of Chile. So I'm very curious to see what, if any, connection there is to this location. Yeah, I know a lot of you are expecting me to talk about very different things regarding this chapter in the teasers today, but this is what I have for you. Hopefully you have found it interesting. I certainly found it very interesting. I hope that that there is actually some connection to this location with the chapter. Otherwise, this is all for nothing. But, you know, I don't think they put those coordinates in there for no reason. So that's all I have for you at this point. I'm looking forward to seeing what the chapter is. Again, we're probably going to get teaser number 3 tomorrow, which it looks like we already know what it is. That really looks like that is what this is, unblurred here. And then I suppose on Thursday, we'll see this final illustration here, which hopefully is a face, and it'll make it a little more clear. And then who knows, if we are going to get the public test build next week, we might have some kind of a teaser to talk about by the end of the week. I'm looking forward to all of that. But that's all I have for you today. Thank you so very much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Ring that bell like a wraith so you don't miss the next video. Take care of each other in the fog, in and out of the fog, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye. It's a Gen Rush life for us. It's a Gen Rush life for us. Set a hiding, we do gens. Set a randoms, we got friends. It's a Gen Rush life